We got 4 red wines.
4 red wines from Capçanes.
Same producer, right?
Same producer,
Okay.
Montsant. This is a very interesting exercise. All of these wines are very good. I tasted them in Italy. But I wanted them because these guys have made a study. They have planted the identical grape variety on 4 different soils and made the wine in exactly the same way. You take a lot of the variables out. Producer, region, vintage, winemaking, aging. You take all those variables out. So what you're really left with here basically is the soil.
Interesting.
So I found these wines all very good and great value for money, and the wines all different. We have 4 soils here: sand, silt, limestone and clay. Classically speaking, wines on clay are heavier,
Okay.
with darker color, perhaps not as elegant, but very often very good in a blend, and of course good by themselves too. There's lots of wines grown in clay.
Merlot. Likes clay?
Merlot in Saint-Emilion to a lesser extent, and in Balmoral. Then you've got sand. So Saint-Emilion has got its sables, the sand. So you've got the sand wines. They tend to be lighter, more elegant, sometimes slightly less complex, but also, again, in the blend. When, for example, they talk about the wines of the Côte Rôtie, they talk about Côte Brune and Côte Blonde. So the Côte Blonde is the whiter, sandier soils, and Côte Brune is the darker soils, certain amount of clay. Most often they will tell you the breakdown in the blend between Côte Brune and Côte Blonde.
Okay.
Limestone tends to be more minerally. One of the hallmarks for a lot of Bordeaux is limestone soils. And then silt. Silt tends to be sand, but that comes from either it's been blown by the wind or it's the river.
Okay, so it's a finer.
So it's finer soils, very well drained. So the roots have to go quite deep to get permanent moisture. And again, makes the lighter, complex white, typically. Shall we see?
Okay, we'll find out.
More importantly for us, whether we can tell which soil is which, that's just a game. But let's see the quality. If there's anything here that's appreciably better than anything else.
Okay, yeah, I'm excited to try. All right, let's try.
I love them.
Yeah.
I really love them. I remember loving them when I tasted them. That's why I brought them.
It's not only the taste, but it's fun. You know, considering.
But I love them because 2 of them are similar, and they're it's almost like, to me, 2 pairs.
Right.
The first 2 are similar,
1 and 2 and 3
and the
and
second
4.
2 are similar. I think I know why, but who knows? Overall, my scores are probably within the standard deviation, meaning my scores don't really differ that much. But I did have definite favorites. I then made a big mistake. I came back to them after they'd been in the glass a while, because you pour them, you taste that one, right? By the time you get there, you think, oh, this one's nice. But because it's had all that much time in the glass, then you come back to that one and say, oh, wait a minute. You start again. You can go like this until you fall over.
Yeah. I went over at least like 3 or 4 times.
I tasted each one twice in the beginning, which I never do. I only taste once. And then I came back and tasted them all again. So I've had a lot of taste, considering I only tasted 4 wines. Overall, what did you think of the quality?
Overall, the quality is excellent.
Yeah.
I love them all. It's really fun just guessing which one came from which soil.
Yeah.
Number 1, it was elegant. It was a lighter in color, and I wrote down medium plus acidity. It reminded me of somewhat of like a burgundy, so I wrote down limestone. Who knows, I could be wrong, but then that was my guess.
It was my lowest score, but it was still a very high score. 90.
90?
Yeah,
Okay.
90. In the beginning I found it quite a tight entry, but it was always extremely elegant. When you say burgundy, I never thought about that.
Burgundy is limestone, right?
All of it? No. But yeah, on various parts of the slope.
Okay.
Yeah. I actually thought I thought the first 2 were sand and silt.
Sand and silt, okay.
And the second 2 were limestone and clay.
Okay.
I don't know.
Maybe.
So let's just talk about the quality, and then the rest is a game. Beautiful elegance. Not forthcoming in the beginning. I found a sort of a little bit of ink on the palate. And then cranberry, some sweetness, a bit of oak. Tight entry, good acid, good fruit, sort of damson plums. A little bit astringent with a medium finish. I thought this was, for me, of course, a beautiful wine, and I could easily drink it on its own. But in the context of all the wines, I thought this might be an excellent wine to blend with some of the others. Anyway, my sense of this one was sand or silt. I scored it 90 points. Second one.
The second one, it was most aromatic and elegant, and it's also lighter in color. It reminds me of Sangiovese.
Okay.
So I wrote down sand. And it was my favorite wine.
My comments were slightly darker, less bright. The brightness of this first wine is like, for me, usually that kind of brightness, low pH. So high acid soil. Ruby Garnet on the nose, even the nose I'm talking about was chewy.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure how to explain that. Slightly less elegant than number one. A bit of arugula, so something green, but some beautiful sweet fruit. Mm-hmm. And then on the palate it was slightly sweet, which is good. Most people like slightly sweet. Fuller bodied than the first one. Very broad across the palate. High tannin, but resolved. Medium length of finish. I found it a bit hot. That doesn't mean the alcohol was high, it just means that the body compared to the alcohol. Yeah. Very satisfying. I never call wine satisfying. I scored that 91.
I love the wine.
You love the wine, okay. Well, 91 is a shit score. I don't think so. Number 3.
I wrote down it has the most power, full-bodied, deeper colored, and richer. Initially I wrote down clay, but I changed to silt.
You changed the silt, okay.
Yeah.
Much darker, no age. To me this was the clay or the limestone. Not quite opaque, no extract, darker. Quiet brooding. It's a family resemblance to the others, arugula and raspberry on the nose. Later, it was sort of holding back, meaning shy, but in a good way, like it had something to promise in the context of elegance, and we needed to sort of wait for a little bit. On the palate was full, good acid, big body, resolved but very present tannins, medium length. I loved the balance of the fruit, raspberry, damson, plums. And I liked the length. I thought it was clay, and I scored it 91 or 92.
All right, number 4. I thought that was pretty similar to number 3, but to me, it felt like there was a slightly more higher acid compared to number 3, and also deeper color. And then I call this one clay.
I loved the color, almost opaque, didn't show any age. On the nose, it was slow to come forward, but sweet. Ripe blueberries, raspberries, some black currant. I loved the entry. Complete, beautiful balance, long. I thought this one was superb. Not that complex, but overall, the whole package for me was, I think you could make a better wine from blending various parts of these. But for me, if I had to drink one, it would be 4.
Okay.
I thought this was lovely. I scored that 94.
It was my second best one.
Okay.
Yeah. So number 1, I called it as a limestone. You called it a sand or silt. Sand.
Sand.
Good job.
Number 1.
That means my number 2 is wrong.
Number 1. What did I call it?
You called it sand.
Did I call it sand?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's really fun.
Number 2.
Number 2, I called it sand. So it was wrong.
Silt.
And limestone.
Limestone.
So I got these two mixed up.
Which was the one you said was like burgundy?
That was number 1.
Number 1.
Right. It's really fun. Yeah, I got those two mixed up for the lighter color, because 1 and 2 were lighter. Number 3, I thought it was silt. You say you thought it was lime. Clay. Good job, Peter. I got it wrong. I did write clay first, and I changed to silt, but I'm wrong. Number 4 will be slate, not silt.
Oh, I meant slate, not silt.
Peter, you see what I wrote?
Slate, yeah.
And then silt is different, so I changed my answer.
I got myself mixed up too.
Oh, okay. This is really fun.
So there's no question.
Thanks, Peter.
That was really, really nice.
That was really nice. It's perfect to drink right now. You wouldn't age this kind of wine, would you?
For sure you can.
Right.
But why? It drinks so beautifully right now.
What kind of food would you pair with Grenache?
You know, if you're a vegetarian, ratatouille.
I believe it will go with vegetables as well.
Yeah,
like
ratatouille,
vegetables.
artichokes.
And
everything goes with mushrooms, so that goes without saying.
Okay.
If you only want to pick one,
right,
My one that I would have you pick is number 4.
Number 4. Okay, I agree. So cheers. Your best was number 4.
But I'm going to toast you with number 1.
Okay. Cheers. Thank you.
Cheers. Thanks.